Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm so excited that you're all here today with us. I'm Allison Cooper, CEO of Influencer Secrets Academy, and I am here with Johanna Voss of Johanna Voss Agency, and she is our influencer talent manager, which I know that we have so many questions for her, and I am just so excited to dig in. So first and foremost, why don't you intro yourself and tell everybody a little bit about what you do.
Hi, everybody. As Allison said, I'm Johanna Voss. I'm very happy to be here. So thank you for having me and excited to hopefully answer a lot of your burning questions during the session. So as she said, I am CEO and founder of an influencer talent management agency. I am based in Denver, Colorado. My talent are across a couple different verticals: food, lifestyle, travel, health and wellness. I have a very diverse roster, mostly women. We have one guy who we love, Ishmael. But I have been in this industry for over 10 years. I love negotiating. It is a ton of fun, which is great because that is basically a lot of what I do on behalf of my clients. I've been working as an entrepreneur since January of 2011, which is quite a long time ago. And as every good entrepreneur, I've had a couple pivots along the way, but definitely talent management, brand partnerships, negotiation, like being the woman behind the scenes who is helping my talent build up their businesses and brands, and helping them earn more money and all that kind of stuff is like definitely where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing. I absolutely love it. I've traveled a ton. I used to work in politics. I love talking politics. I love traveling. I've lived abroad. I backpacked around the world in like a very small backpack for a year. So quite a journey that I've had. But I feel like it's all just led me to where I am, and all the skill sets and stuff have just come together to be like, as I said, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I absolutely love it.
Love that. I am so inspired by all the things, but now I'm like, tell me more about the backpack. I know that's totally off topic, but I have to say I have the love for negotiating definitely in common with you. There's something so fun about, and then you get what you want, and it's just like, you do your little happy dance. I love it. Awesome. Well, I'm going to dive right in. And the first question is probably the one that everybody is just dying to know the answer to. What is the criteria for an influencer to be represented by you or a talent manager in general?
So I'll speak about me first. I look for my clients to be at or around 100,000 in brand partnerships over the past 12 months. Some managers have a minimum follower threshold. They want you to be at it or around a certain amount of followers. And that could be 50,000, 100,000, 20,000. Like, don't ever make assumptions about what people are looking for in their talent pool. But it kind of just comes down to like follower counts and sort of what your community of followers looks like. Do you have good engagement? Do you have really good content? And then I don't really care about follower count. For me, I look at that. How much have you done in brand partnerships in the past year? And here's why. All of us managers earn money off commission. Like we only earn on the deals that we close on behalf of our talent. Wow. And the reality is about 85 to 90% of the things I spend my time on, any inbound inquiry, all the pitching I do, outreach, follow-up, isn't compensated because it doesn't happen for whatever reason. And so we earn only on about 10 to 15% of where we spend our time. So for me, I have to run a sustainable business. Okay. And it's kind of twofold because everyone thinks, oh, well, you managers, like, that's just a money grab. Like, you just want to make money off of us. That is very false. It's very not true. And so here's a little bit more insight into why. So again, 100,000, 20% commission of that is $20,000. You take off taxes, you take off overhead, you take off the expenses of running a business. It isn't that much money left over. And so for me, so then the flip side is also, if a creator is earning at or around 100,000, it also means that they I'm not here to hold your hand, right? I'm not here to tell you how to be an influencer. Like hiring a manager or wanting to bring on a manager doesn't bring or create you the success. And that is a huge misconception. It is you, the creator, that creates the success. And we're just here to help you manage it. Because when it gets to be that you have so many projects and so many opportunities, you're trying to create content, you're responding to brands, you're trying to negotiate, you're reading agreements. When the ball's getting dropped on like the actual work that the creator wants to do, which is like the fun creative part. So if you are a creator that is at around a certain income level, it also tells me that it's not your first rodeo. You know what a brief is, you know what a contract is, you've negotiated for yourself, like you have an understanding of what the industry is about. You have established yourself as a brand partner. There's a ton of competition out there. Like it's not my job to make you a creator who works with, brands. Like that's a long sales cycle to get you on a brand's radar because they cast and plan for their campaigns 6, 9, 12 months out. So if you're coming in and you're like, oh, hey, Joanna, I've done 85,000, 90,000, 110 last year. I know that you've got that experience under your belt and you've already been like a trusted brand partner. You're already established, like you're in their databases, you're getting cast, you're on their radar, you're standing out amongst all the other competition as like, being a great partner for them. Side of it is, let's say you earn 30,000, which is amazing. Like you did this for a year, you hustled, you negotiated, you were scrappy and figured things out and you earn 100,000, which is amazing. A manager will come in and we earn our 20% of that. That's $6,000. Well, that's not sustainable for me to run a business. But the flip side is also you as the creator are now taking home 24,000. Significant drop in income when you're at that level. So when a creator is earning at or around 100,000, I have this assumption and experience to show that I'm able to bump up their rates or negotiate better for them. That when I earn my 20%, there's not like, I don't want there to be a drop in their income. I want to help elevate them to continue to help them earning. So if you are, again, like I'll just use that $30,000 number, you may have hit a ceiling. Like, I don't know that I can bump up your rates 10, 15% in order to make the compensation of what you pay your manager worth it. Like at that point, I'm like, just keep all your 30,000. Like, for you, like, that's amazing. Hire a VA on an hourly rate. Like that's a much better investment to help you in your income to get to a point to hire a manager. So I say all that because so often people are like, oh, you don't want to, work with me because I don't earn enough. And it's like, well, yes, I have to run a sustainable business, but also like, I want you to be super successful because if you come in at whatever amount and think, oh, I'm going to hire a manager and like, Joanna's going to make me successful. That is not how it works. Like those expectations are going to be so misaligned. And then you're going to have a bad experience. I'm going to have a bad experience. I'm going to be working my butt off, not get paid for things. Like now I'm cranky and resentful.
Yeah.
Like, oh, having a manager sucks. And it's like, no, it just wasn't actually like a setup. No one was set up for success in that situation. So that's why I look at that like income level. And most of the managers I know are 50,000, 85,000. Kind of just depends on like what their business model is.
Are they full? That is such a great answer. I feel like you cleared up so many misconceptions there. That was so insightful. Really, really interesting. Yeah, thanks. I love that.
Well, that's like a coding question for people. So
yeah, it is. No, it's I know everyone's like, how do we, how does this make sense? Which for, Influencer Secrets Academy, we're looking at, we have the nano and we have our micro influencers, which are still, in that, getting up there in that follower range, but it's definitely good to have those insights so they have something to strive for if that's the path that they, want to take.
Yeah. And if I can just say, my first creator, I think we've been working together for like, I think we're coming up on 8 years now. Wow. When her and I first partnered together, she had about 19,000 followers, give or take, which, 8 years ago was like,
it was a big deal. Yeah.
I was like, this is amazing. She was earning multiple six figures. Amazing. So I see people often equate follower count to like how successful your business can be. That is not the case. Like, I want to dispel that myth. That is very much not true, because simultaneously there are people who are, I don't know, at 450,000 followers and they're not earning money. So don't think that your follower count size determines your success. Lorraine maybe just crossed 50,000, like literally it took her 8 years. But I always say to my creators, I'm like, I don't want you to grow. Like, I'd much rather you go deep, build your community, focus on your engagement, respond to comments, like keep your people coming back, continue to create good content. So if you are at 10,000, 15,000, 12,000, 8,500, like, don't dismiss the possibility of having a successful business, because you totally can.
Yeah, no, I love that you said that, because that's exactly what I try to teach as well. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes that the numbers don't tell. And one of the things that I try, and I mean, I would love for you to weigh in on this too. And I know I'm going off the questions a little bit, but I teach that they should build case studies versus just showing a media kit, because the media kit just doesn't tell like this whole picture. It's like your follower count. Okay, well, that's great. But what are those 100,000 followers doing behind the scenes?
Totally.
Like, go deeper and like tell the full story and show, the brand, look what I can do. Like, look what's happening behind the scenes.
Yep. No, I completely agree. I know media kits are still a thing. I mean, I have them for all my talent, but like, I think it used to be something you'd send out all the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're interested in Allison? Here's links to her profile. Like, here's her rates. I send them out because it's just habit. But I think I want to say someone requested a media kit from me the other day, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, full transparency. We haven't really updated it lately because literally nobody asked for it. Here's a link to her talent bio page on my website, which has everything updated. We've got testimonials, brand projects. So have one. Shouldn't be more than 2 pages. And lean into like your followers and your audience and they're young millennial women who have disposable income, who love to travel on weekends and like book hotels and self-care stays. And this is why my content is great for your product, because that's exactly who you're looking to get in front of. But yeah, more of that, just like case study stuff. And then love up on your people. Like, you've got comments, respond to the comments, have conversations, screenshot DMs, tag it organically, like, literally screenshot comments to be like, my community's been asking for this, or like, they also love the new Clorox grapefruit wipes, which I just bought, and I like genuinely like the new just stuff like that. Like,
love it.
Time stuff to brands.
I love that. No, that's great. Awesome. Good. No, I am totally aligned with all of that. Agree 100%. It's all about what's going on behind the scenes, stuff that they can't see.
Yep.
So I know you love brand negotiations. We'll move on. How do you handle brand negotiations? And does the influencer have the final say when it comes to the deals that they're offered?
Always. They always have the final say. It's their brand. They're the ones who have to create the content. They're the ones who have to talk about the product, talk about the experience, or do the thing. Yes, I will always know if they're going to say yes or no, and we'll never get so far. If it's going to be a no, like, I'll never progress that far down. I generally know more or less with my talent, like if they'll say yes, or if they're open, or if they'll make it work. I have 2 creators that are in the travel space. So like, sometimes it's just a matter of logistics. So I'll kind of be like, hey, just really high level, are you interested, available? Like, what travels do you have going on that I don't know about? But it's always like, I bring it back to them. And, if it's lower than their rates, I could be like, listen, I've worked with them before. They pay on time. They're lovely. They have great clients. It's below your rate, but like, I recommend that you consider doing it, because I think it would be really good opportunity.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, whatever they decide, I'm like, cool, it's your decision. I will fully support whatever you want to do. Conversely, I've come in with like really well-paid projects and presenting it to my talent. And I've been like, hey, listen, you just need to know this was a nightmare to get to this best and final offer.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe like how the client does business in the negotiations is how they're going to do business when you're in the project. So if they're late, they're rude, they get my name wrong, they get the talent's name wrong, they miss calls, they are not flexible on agreement red lines, they're not flexible on briefing things. I could just tell they're a mess behind the scenes. I've also come to my talent and been like, hey, here's the project. Again, I will support you, but I just need you to know it has been less than fun to get to here. So just know, like, this is going to be a headache. You want to do it? I will support you. Like, you need to know it's going to be a headache. So yeah, whenever something comes into either my talent's inbox or directly to me, I'm the one who just does all the negotiation, gets all the details, the scope of work, usage, exclusivity, all of like, what is the project, what's the offer, like, where did we land on budget and scope of work? And then, so like, I do all those conversations and get all that information and then bring it back to my talent to say yes or no.
Got it. That's awesome. Good to know. And then you did touch on payment structure a little bit before. Is it just pretty much like a standard 20% across the industry, or does everybody do that different?
20% is definitely standard.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who do lower compensation rates.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing less and less about that. I have heard in the past, like, some agencies will do like 20% for any outbound pitches and 15% for any inbound pitches, or like we'll split the difference. But if there's any talent managers in this group, I would say do not do that payment structure, because there's so many times like I will pitch an opportunity or have a conversation with a brand about something, and then the official offer will go directly to the talent. And like I won't be CC'd. Yeah, for like no reason, which happens. And I'm like, I've been emailing you for a month, and then you message the talent.
Yeah.
And then my talent's great. They'll be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, let me loop in Johanna. And I'm kind of like, hi, I'm still here. So it's really hard to say, like, you really just can never determine the origin of something, like if it did come from your pitching.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, for the most part, 20% is standard across the industry for compensation to managers.
That makes sense. All right. So say somebody signs a contract to work with you, are they still able to pitch and work with brands on their own? How does that work?
Like I don't manage the negotiations or anything?
Exactly. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. That makes, one, that's my job. That's what you hired me to do. If you want to negotiate and do it on your own, great. You're handling all of it. You don't get to pick and choose which ones you want to do.
No, that's what I mean. Like, are they still able to work with brands outside of you? So like, say they wanted to apply to something on like an influencer network or something like that, and they do all the back and forth. Are they allowed to do that, or is that still involved in your contract?
In my contract, I do all of it. And here's why. Because if left hand and right hand are not working in tandem, it doesn't work. Yeah. If I'm pitching a Coke product, like working this Coke deal and trying to get some, get this opportunity happen, and then they're out there doing something that they haven't told me about, and then they just secured a deal with Sprite, but Sprite is owned by Pepsi.
Yes.
This is like Coke deals off the table. So no, that wouldn't work at all. And honestly, it's like, you hired me to do this job. So why would you then like, that just doesn't make sense. So no, in my world, it makes zero sense. And every other manager I know is like,
same thing.
Basically in the same vein, because it's, you'll.
Yeah, that makes
I know managers who let it happen because they're like, oh yeah, that seems fine. And then they've come to a moment where it's like, oh, I didn't know you were doing this. And then they see the creator go live with the content. And they're like,
wait, what is that? Where did that come from? Yeah.
Like, I I can't do this. You just blew this other opportunity. So
yeah,
it doesn't make sense at all.
that makes total sense what you're saying. So then I guess sort of piggybacking on that, do you require a contract?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't ever do anything with a manager or a brand or an agency or a contractor or a vendor.
Right. Preach.
Oh my God, never, ever, ever, ever do anything without a contract.
Absolutely.
For me, it's a home base. It's where you lay out your expectations, you lay out payment terms. There's total clarity about what I'm doing, what you're doing with the brand, what your scope of deliverables are, what your payment terms are, what your manager is going to do for you, how many rounds of edits your freelancer will do on your website. Like there's whatever it is, it's like the agreements where you look back. And everyone who doesn't have an agreement has an awful story about things gone. Oh, well, I thought this or I thought that. So yes, I absolutely have agreements, and don't ever do anything without an agreement in this world.
Absolutely. Okay, so what additional services do you offer beyond securing brand deals?
Unofficially, I am a therapist. I'm a hype woman. I'm a cheerleader. I am your supporter. I am your editor on content, just to triple confirm everything before we send it over to the brand. I have eyes on it. I am your buffer between you and the brand. When the brand, like we've said, yes, creator has the content, they've had the brief, they're working on it. And then the brand is like, oh, hey, any chance that, we just, we'd love an extra reel, or like, can they do some extra stories, or like, hey, it's okay if we use the content. I know we said 30 days, but like, it's okay if we use it for like 60, right? No, not okay. I'm that buffer, like the amount of things that I deal with from the brands and agency side to protect the talent. Like they literally have no idea. They're aware I do way more, but they do not know how much of a pain in the I read the agreements, I redline the agreements, I project manage the whole thing, set up the briefing calls, get the brief, like I said, triple check the content. I get the script back from, like, the approved script or edited script back from the brand. And it's supposed to be a 30-second reel, and I time it and I'm like, hey, you guys sent a reel script that's 47 seconds. No, this is not going to work. Like, fix it. So, again, therapist, like that's probably the top one that is an unofficial capacity. I'm just also like eyes and ears, seeing conversations. I'm on casting lists. I'm pitching my talent. I'm, following up on opportunities. I'm making connections. I'm building my network, constantly doing what I can to keep my roster top of mind with agencies and brands that are casting for opportunities. It's a lot.
Yes. No, that is like the best answer ever. And I want everybody to really listen up, because you might say someone just coming into this industry and thinking, okay, I'm going to hire a talent manager for the first time, might think like, oh my gosh, 20% I'm giving away and all these things. But really, the load that you are taking off, I know from personal experience doing just the red lines of contracts. I have spilt 3 weeks into work back plans sometimes because of how long those negotiations take place. And again, you're not getting paid hourly for doing all of that. And it is a tremendous amount of work. So yes, everybody, please note how hard your manager is working for you.
I get super triggered when people are like, oh, managers only take 20%, or managers always take 20%, or like, I don't want to give my 20%. And I'm just like,
no,
you have no idea. And especially kind of to your point, we're not paid hourly and stuff. The amount of involvement, campaigns used to be, oh, hey, we're interested in your content. We'd love to hire you. Here's the product. We're so excited to see your content go live. That's it. There was no, now we're, sending over a concept.
Yeah.
Years ago, a concept, you could send a couple sentences. Now the concepts are full script, full shot list, What are you wearing? Where are you filming? Sending me pictures, include photos, link to other content that you filmed in this space. Who else is in the content? I need to have a, like, what do you call it? Like a release form from the other person. What's your caption going to be? What messaging points are you including? You haven't even done the thing yet, and you already have the whole thing scripted out, which I think is a good thing because it is an extra layer of protection. So many things are subjective with, a brand going, oh, I thought it was going to be more this. And you're like, that is zero helpful feedback. Like it goes so many different ways. Like you hired the creator, they've stuck with the way they've done content across their brand. Like that's on you to think that they were going to do something different. Like you've been looking at their content for months, casting them for this opportunity. At the end of the day, the brand's paying. So, okay, if they want to reshoot and like they want things to be different, I get it. So I'm all for doing the concept and stuff now, but it's like I'm having multiple rounds of edits on the concept. I'm having approved content or scripts when you send the content edited. I'm like, you can't edit your own approved concept without a reshoot fee. It's like 100 emails to get through redlining an agreement right now. So yeah, I get really annoyed when people are like, oh, managers take 20%. And like, are there people who give managers a bad name? Oh, absolutely. Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
That's life. But, in general, most of us are out here like
hustling,
good by you, hustling. And like, we're looking out for your best interests for sure.
Yeah. It's a ton. It's a lot of work. Okay, thank you for that answer. I think a lot of people in this group probably have not done like the concepting and the shot lists and things like that. And I know one thing at the agency I was working at, we kind of started doing these like one-on-one sessions because a lot of people were doing it for the first time, and then we needed to just kind of like hold their hand through it. And it's so much work.
It is. It's like gotten, so much more intense and so many more cooks in the kitchen now, which is just making turnaround times, like the number of brands that I've seen miss their own deadlines and their own timing. And I'm like, y'all have had this content for 3 weeks. It's an Instagram reel about Band-Aids. I don't know, making this up.
Yeah.
What on
what
earth
are you doing?
And now there's the agency legal, there's the brand legal, the agency marketing team, the brand marketing team. It's like the number of eyes when I get things back, the number of like people editing documents. You're just like, and they're contradicting their own self, they're contradicting their own brief. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys.
It gets to be a little tedious. Like sometimes it's a little too much. And like I feel like sometimes the creativity gets a little bit lost, because I know like working on both sides of it, there are sometimes things like when I go to film, something just like comes out of my mouth that's like, oh, this is perfect, this is great. And then there are many cases where you can't even go down that path and use it. And it
totally,
that part kind of stinks, but it is what it is. It's the protection, the legal protection there, and it is important. All right. I am moving on to our last question here. And okay, so this is, how do you handle late brand payments to ensure the influencer gets paid on time? The fun question.
No, we gotta end on. We gotta have another question. So
I know. Well, I will. I'll
wrap it downer note.
Positive.
This is a pain point in this industry. There are many late payments, and kind of to what we were just saying, what I've also seen happen more so in this industry now, especially with some of the big agencies. Left hand and right hand have no idea
what's going on.
I've learned of a number of agencies that have a third party international based in India, based somewhere in the Philippines team that is processing payments. And that team doesn't know the contract, doesn't know the due date for the creator, honestly, doesn't care. They just get whatever payments they're supposed to process, and then they do. They don't. So creator can say, okay, my payment was supposed to be on February 14th, and I'm messaging the person. Oftentimes they have no idea what happened because it's gone to like their boss, the accounting team, and then someone else. And they're like, okay, let me try and track it down for you. And then, I get a message back that's like, okay, yeah, we're going to process it in our next check run, which will be, like let's say now it's Wednesday. They're like, oh, you missed this week. It's the following Wednesday. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
I know creators are often like, oh, well, late payment fees and all this. I have given up including that because you have to have it approved in the agreement. You can't just start charging. And I know of a couple people who've had success, and perhaps it's with smaller agencies, but a lot of the huge agencies, like they're never going to include a late fee payment.
No.
And then the reality is the invoice that gets paid will be your original invoice, not with your late payment fee. And you're like, you're not going to track down an extra, 3%. It's like, oh,
yeah.
Like, so dumb. It's a futile exercise is what I should say. In theory, it's great, but that's just not how the industry works. There's also a lot of language in some agencies write in, oh, it's, net 30 or whatever it is. But if the brand hasn't paid the agency, then they're not going to pay out to the creator until the brand pays the agency.
Oh.
So that's a thing that I've seen more and more of. And there's definitely a few agencies that are notorious for like, oh, it's not 30, but only if we've been paid by the client.
Yes. I haven't seen that one. That's
which is really frustrating because you're like, it's a small creator. It's whatever, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 for the agency. You're like, it's a drop in the hat.
Yeah. Your
team that's been working on the project has continued to get paid, but the creator doesn't. They've had expenses, photography, editing, makeup, purchasing stuff, whatever, food styling. So yeah, it's really frustrating. It's such a pain point. I try not to let it get to me because it kind of just is what it is, and you just got to stay on top of it. But every year there's at least one that is like, with my creators, like the bane of our existence, where you're just like having to threaten legal, begging and pleading, and it's awful. Yeah. It's not good.
I know. It's just
something else.
Yeah, I know, right? Just it's one of those things you just got to take with a grain of salt and just deep breaths and just know that you just kind of get through it.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to end with this one. If somebody is just starting out, they would like to work with a talent manager, what is one just key word of advice or, something that one takeaway that you want them to think about as they embark on this journey, if they choose to?
One piece of advice. So I would say it's hard because you're looking internally at your own stuff, but like, everyone thinks like, oh, I'm amazing. Like I'm a 6-figure influencer.
Yeah.
You may well be deep down inside, but you have to show for it. I can't pitch potential. I can't earn off potential, and neither can you. So I would say like really understand how much of a business this is. Like, how committed are you? How consistent are you posting content? What new skills are you learning? How are you connecting with your community to build up your engagement and your following? Like, we're only as good as the product we're selling, the product being our talent, when we're pitching and trying to close a deal. Everyone thinks they're the bee's knees, but like, look really hard at your peers. What are you doing really well? What are you not doing well? What could you do better? What would make you a great asset? Not what do you think, but like actually what makes you a great asset, and understanding, you're at X amount of followers and you're getting 29 likes per piece of content. And I know that's nothing you can control with the algorithm, but there are elements you can control about posting frequently, engaging in your own content, tagging brands organically, following up, rinse, lather, repeat. It is, I think, the advent of like everyone having one of these with an amazing camera feels like it's lowered the bar to entry to this world, and everyone's like, I can post pictures about my shampoo. It is no different than starting a brick and mortar business. Like, it is hella hard, and it is so much work, and it is a grind, and it is so boring and so not rewarding in the very beginning. So I think everyone who wants a manager just like needs to go through that and come out the other side to understand like how committed they are to doing this, because it is definitely a marathon. So anyone who is interested, I would just say, like, you know, hire a manager to audit your content. Like, hire someone you do not know to give you feedback. Research managers that you want to work with, you know, talk to 3 or 4 different people and pay them to like give you feedback, like honest, hard feedback on where you are and like what you need to do. You could be on the way. You just need to like keep doing it with 3 more, 6 more, 7 more months under your belt. But I would say, honestly, the biggest thing is just like that mindset around how committed and you are, that like, this isn't just like I hire a manager and they're going to
make me a millionaire.
Yeah, they're going to make me a millionaire. They're going to bring me all these projects. Like, there is so much competition in the space. How do you stand out? Like, why you? Why you for a brand? Why you for a manager? You know, really, 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 really look deep at your own stuff. It's hard, but you know, I think people who can go through that experience and exercise and detach themselves from it and understand like, this is a business. This isn't just like, I'm going to post fun pictures. Those are the people that make it, like the ones that I talk to who are like, okay,
goodness.
Yeah, like I can see that they've been grinding it out. They can come in and say, okay, I've been following you. I've been tagging brands. I've been pitching. I'm not hiding my likes. I'm posting 4 times a week. I took this course to learn this skill, and then I did this. And I can go back and like see their progression of either consistency or growth. And I'm like, oh, you may not be at 100,000 yet, but I'm like, oh, it's just a matter of time before you get there. Like, that to me is what matters, because you can't teach that kind of stuff, right? Like, that's so cliche, but I can't teach you to be hungry and committed and professional and married to this. So yeah, it's like, it's a lot of this.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Really, really great answer. I feel like I learned so much today. I bet you everybody else did too. Thank you so much for all of that amazing insight. This was such a wonderful discussion, and I know that everybody is walking away with really, really great tips, whether they are, you know, ready to hire a talent manager, or whether they just are, you know, looking at their business as well, their influencer platform as a business for the first time through that lens. So I think that's amazing. Thank you so much for being here today. And I'll talk to everybody soon.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.